President's attorney, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, joins us for our Hannity Deep State Watch tonight. Mr. Mayor, how are you?
Welcome back.
I wish I had that ring, by the way, which is the Yankee championship ring that you have and deserve. All right, so let me start with this first report, which is Mueller should be investigated for the destruction of evidence. Ken Starr agrees with you as well. And that is the erased text messages of the lead investigators at the start of this investigation.
Well, this would be a massive scandal if it happened to us, if we were producing documents for them and we said, oh, we have 19,000 texts right at a relevant period that
the relevant period.
Yeah, that we had erased. It was erased by Mueller, by the way. It was erased by Mueller's record officer, who claims that he or she looked at them and they don't contain anything pertinent. Now, how can that be? Strzok and Page were texting every day about how much they hated Trump, how much they wanted to get him out, how much they wanted to stop him, how they had an insurance policy to get him out. All of a sudden, they went to work for Mueller and they stopped texting back and forth. It makes no sense. What makes sense to me is there are some highly damaging texts about the way this investigation began as a completely illegitimate attempt to destroy Donald Trump. This is an investigation in search of a crime, and they haven't found one yet. Collusion's not a crime. It's not a crime.
Firing Comey's not a crime.
Firing Comey's not a crime. The campaign contributions are not criminal. They're not even a violation of the campaign finance law. They're paying off a possible civil judgment. This is make up a crime, make up a crime, make up a crime, hoping to find one eventually.
And they get everybody on process.
And then they frame certain people. Look what they did to Flynn. What they did to Flynn is outrageous. He told them something. They had the paper in their drawer.
No. Well, by the paper, you mean the transcript.
The transcript.
They surveilled him. They unmasked him. They leaked raw intelligence.
If they were searching for the truth, they'd have put that in front of him and said, General, does this refresh your recollection? I know this game. I used to play it a lot more ethically than they do.
But it's even worse than that, because you had the deputy FBI director, McCabe, say, oh, you don't need a lawyer. And then you had the FBI director said, oh, well, it's 4 days into the Trump administration. We're not going to follow the normal process and go through the White House counsel.
Yeah, we think we can get away with it because they're not experienced enough.
Wow.
Get away with what?
4 days.
Get away with unethical behavior, possibly illegal behavior, totally reprehensible behavior on the part of a prosecutor. If General Flynn was sympathetic to the liberal media, they'd be outraged about this. They'd be demanding that his case be dismissed just to teach the prosecutor a lesson.
Will Hillary ever get in trouble for the violations of the Espionage Act? Will she ever get in trouble for the obstruction of justice by destroying subpoenaed emails? Will the FISA, we know now that the top officials in the FBI and DOJ lied and presented unverified information to FISA court judges to obtain a warrant on a Trump campaign associate.
Those 4 affidavits are false. They're false affidavits.
What would happen if I did that?
You'd be under investigation, possibly indicted by now.
Would you? If you're my lawyer, could you get me off?
I don't think so. Not unless there was an explanation I didn't know about. But the reality is it has to be investigated, and it's not being investigated. And Mueller has to be investigated for wiping out those texts at an extremely relevant period of time. They say it's part of the Justice Department retention policy. Garbage. It's not part of the Justice Department retention policy to destroy evidence. I mean, you can't supersede the law and say, I'm going to have a...
The people that said Hillary should win 100 million to 0, that said the Trump voters he could smell because they're smelly Walmart people, that had an insurance policy and a media leak strategy.
Well, you know, here's the mentality. I know these people. I knew them when I was mayor. I knew them before I was mayor. After all, I grew up in a liberal city. These people are on a moral high ground. They can justify any means for their end, which is to save the country from Donald Trump and put us in the hands of Hillary Clinton or somebody else.
Here's a question. Do you see a day where Hillary's held accountable? Those that signed those phony FISA warrants are in trouble. Comey is in trouble. McCabe is in trouble legally. Lisa Page and Strzok, are they ever going to get in trouble?
Everything you're describing is more serious than any crime they've looked at, the peripheral crimes they've looked at. A false statement by General Flynn in which they're asking for no time in jail. How could he have been a traitor or committed treason?
That was awful.
And then they don't ask for time in jail? The prosecutor's not asking for time in jail.
When does this end?
It ends when he files his report, and we can answer it. Whatever garbage he has.
Will there be a Giuliani report?
Damn right there'll be a Giuliani report. And I think it'll be the definitive. Our report will be the definitive report because it'll be the truth. The president did nothing wrong.
Mr. Mayor, Happy New Year. Good to see you. I want that ring. Next Christmas.